Hello and welcome to Raider HQ After Dark. I'm your host, Raider. And in this video, I'm going to be doing what I would consider the drunk history version of recounting the October 29th, 2025 Veterans Senate hearing thing that happened. Now, this is the multipleth time that I've recorded this because the first 5 times that I recorded it, I probably would have gotten canceled for the words that escaped my mouth. Okay. So let me give you the recap. Now, this is not going to be accurate, so you can't hold me to this. I'm not an investigative journalist like the Washington Post is. So the level of, authenticity of that particular review won't be here. Okay. So basically, what had happened in my understanding is that the Washington Post put out what I would consider I fell down the stairs and had a head injury and then decided to write something level of misinformation about fraud, right? They basically just kind of told a story and wrapped it loosely in every once in a while fraud is discovered. And that pissed a lot of people off, understandably, because number one, it's not true. There's no evidence for it. So you have to have evidence of evidence to come to a conclusion like that. There's a lot of what ifing and a lot of just, virtue signaling, a lot of weird stuff coming from the Washington Post, but, that's that. So then the Senate Veterans Committee has this meeting on it. And and they're going to talk about the Washington Post, and they start out good. Okay. They're saying, hey, look, we respect our veterans and the benefits that they get, and we don't think that they're fraudsters and whatever. Okay. Opening statements. Awesome. So then we go into the normal usual suspects of panel people that are the normal yes people, figureheads, whatever you want to talk about. They at least have something to do with the system, right? Of VA claims processing. Nobody that actually knows how the system works, but people that at least have some influence on it. And then we come to the last guy. So somebody let some rando shop teacher or art teacher walk in and sit down at the table. And I guess their name is PhD Gade or something like that. Anyway, they don't have any kind of medical background. What they have is they have a degree in something that's not relevant. They are not a subject matter expert. They are not somebody who has done the job before. They're not anybody that can have a formal opinion on the topic. But because they once stayed at a Holiday Inn, they are at the table. And now anybody can go to a Senate hearing and just have their opinion. And I have multiple issues with this. Okay. Number one, all right, is that what came out of Gade's mouth specifically made absolutely no sense from a it makes no sense perspective, and from a this isn't what we're talking about perspective. So he essentially came out and said, look, I believe everything the Washington Post said. I love them. Hold still, don't move. Veterans are fraudsters. And you know what? We need to stop being disability focused, because dis in Latin means something that I don't understand. And like everything Latin, we need to follow it because it could be adversely affecting us today. So he wants us to do away with veteran disability at the 60% level. Don't quote me on that, because once again, and everybody that's 60% and lower, kick rocks. You suck. Everybody 70%, 60% or higher, I guess you've got to take like daily tests or some, I don't know, some kind of means test BS and other things. And part of the reason why I had to cut the other videos is because of the amount of swearing I was doing. And this is Raider the veteran talking. Okay. So you're not going to get a lot of like, and then if we look at manual reference so and so and so and so, because honestly, this guy, I would have wished that they would have had a drunk veterinarian in his place. I would have what would have escaped the slurring breathing level of drunk. If they would have had that person come in and just say anything, it would have been 1,000% more valid than what escaped Mr. Gade's mouth, because Mr. Gade has no professional opinion on it because he doesn't have any background to have said opinion. It's as if your toddler came in and wanted to talk about nuclear physics, right? It's cute, but it doesn't do anything. So, anyway, so Gade went on forever, and somebody brought this up to me yesterday, is that the things that he was saying had to do with something called Project 2025. And I guess I'm apolitical and I don't really follow stuff, but I guess Project 2025 was some kind of think tank thing that had all this horrifically negative things that were in it. And it was like a E for everyone level of things in it. It wasn't just one demographic or one group. I guess it was bad all the way around. Well, there was a veteran section in there that Mr. Gade quoted almost verbatim, which was, after I looked it up, I'm like, yeah, he said the majority of those things. And it's really disgusting because I mean, this guy is a veteran and he wants it to where veterans don't get disability, they get jobs. Well, the funny thing about Mr. Gade's experience is, I mean, you know what? I'm going to take that back. I guess Mr. Gade's experience, we all mirror that, right? Because every single one of you that got out of the military, you got your cushy six-figure job at the White House, didn't you? Just like Mr. Gade did. I mean, you know, all of you that chose to be disabled and didn't get your White House job like Mr. Gade did, well, shame on all of you. Where does this guy think he's going to get all these jobs from? Training somebody to do a job doesn't mean you get the job. Who's giving out the jobs, Gade? Who's giving out the jobs, Gade? Where are you getting all these jobs from, Gade? Where's the gainful employment coming from, Gade? I don't know if you noticed, but the job market's up in the air. You got people with master's degrees working at McDonald's. What are you going to make the veterans do, especially ones with raging mental health? What job are they going to do, Gade? Door greeter at the gun shop? Like, what's happening, Gade? You didn't think this out, Gade. Like, I don't get it. Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I mean, and it frustrates me, right? Because it makes me want to say negative things. Like Mr. Gade is a combat veteran who lost his leg. Now, I could say, wow, thank you for your service, and you deserve the disability that you earned through your service, regardless of where or when it happened. Or I could say, you know what, Gade? A lot of people have lost their legs, and it doesn't make you special. I hate to say it, but that's the level of empathy that Mr. Gade was doing. And you know what? And not all of us had a golden parachute whenever we got out of the military to where we could be lieutenant colonel special fast track to the White House. How are you going to retain DOD volunteer army numbers if you say, if you get injured, we'll train you to work at Walmart? I mean, Lincoln's promise, it's like they don't even care. Gade and whoever invited him. I honestly don't know who invited Gade on there. I think he just wandered in. I would have rather them pick the janitor, the congressional janitor, and listen to him ramble on about stuff. It would have been more valuable. Okay. So that's part one. Part two is shame on every single congressman that was there except for Duckworth. Because they pretended like he didn't even say anything. They pretended like he didn't even say the quiet things out loud. And it's like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And some of the senators there were going, yeah, send me your drafts. Like they're actually taking this stuff seriously, guys. I can't believe it. I never thought in my lifetime that somebody like, you, I don't, I want to say things, right? Like my son is wanting to go into the military. I'm going to tell him to do anything else. And you can disagree with me on that. But if this goes through, what's the benefit to going there? Get your leg blown off, fine. Go get a job. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this. Where is this coming from? It's like, hey, look, we want to do a Senate hearing about hateful things against veterans, and we want to actually spend time and actually not admonish this person for saying hateful things about veterans and proposing hateful things about veterans. And it's not mutually exclusive. You can still give jobs to veterans while also like being for the ones that are disability focused, be disability focused. For the ones that are for employment focused, let them get jobs. I mean, I thought that the vet tech program was pretty awesome. But guess what? Are you getting a job in computers? I mean, they're laying people off left and right from computers. So the vet tech job doesn't make any sense. What job are you going to give people that they aren't going to get laid off in 10 minutes? I can't with this. But yeah, Duckworth is the only one that even brought it up. And I thought, oh my gosh, like it made me physically ill because I'm like, they're just going to let him just say this stuff unchecked. He just gets to say whatever he wants. The sociology teacher gets to say whatever he wants about medical stuff. And nobody's going to question him on it. And it's just like, oh yeah, send me your proposal. Oh wow, yeah, send me all your stuff. Now, what do I think is going to happen? I don't know. But it's gaining traction. A meeting that was supposed to put the lid on the op-ed from the Washington Post just made it worse. And the congressman wanted it. It seemed like they wanted it. But I'll tell you right now. I get fear. I get the fear, not from what they're proposing, but if they go through with it. Now I am a grounded mentally person, but there are people that are not. You take their benefits away from them, see what happens. See what kind of opposition you find from that. Suggesting it is a voting interaction. I get worried about anything beyond that because, I mean, go get a job. I mean, that's the most condescending thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And none of this means anything. Like anything I'm saying doesn't mean anything. I've just never in my life heard, that we just let some rando walk into a meeting with they're not an expert on anything. They have no specialized information. They get to just say the most random derogatory things, which are factually false, when it comes to the medical side of it, and he's unchecked. Virtually unchecked. I mean, Duckworth did check him a little bit, but I mean, it was the limpest wrist checking I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I've heard on the congressional hearings them get more fired up about photos that are shown than about this. And I tell you right now, I'm voting against anyone that votes in favor of this because this is gaining traction. I mean, I don't understand it. This is gaining traction. And I'll tell you right now, who should be worried? I don't think that every single veteran should be worried. I think the people on IU should be worried. TDIU, because this was also in that 2025 thing, is there was a section in there, and the guy even mentioned it, the TDIU thing. And TDIU, I think they're going to sacrifice that as a compromise. I just do. I feel it in my bones. It's my Raider prediction. I think that they're going to sacrifice TDIU. And I know I'm kind of fear-mongering a little bit here, but he said it and nobody challenged him on it. He talked about taking TDIU away and how it's not employment focused. And, of course it's not, because you can't work because of your disabilities. It's stupid. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand why there was no advocate for veterans in that meeting. Except for Duckworth, who's a Democrat. I mean, I would have thought, and I'm trying to stay political here. I would have thought the other side would have stood up and said, hey, that's a step too far. I mean, they didn't have to condone it. They didn't have to go against it, but it was a step too far. I don't know, guys. Like, I think the rant's almost over, but I'm not going to do many of these political things. I can't help myself. And everybody else is, I'm seeing people on YouTube that are like, "Hey, look, this is, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad." No, this was all bad. The fact that this got to be said out loud and was unchallenged is bad. Well, they won't do it. I would have said that about saying stuff like this during a hearing too. They won't do that, but they did, and it flew. That's the part that got me, is that it went drastically unchecked. It's psychosis, right? Like I don't understand it, and it's it's planned. It seems to be moving forward. Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, that's about all my blood pressure can take right now. So yeah, this has nothing to do with anything. Raider out.